Hi STEM 2 students. In this video I want to actually show you how to do some calculations for your robots, and each group will receive a triangle that looks kind of like this, where it has a starting point, some distance it's going to travel, another distance, and a third length. Your job is going to be a couple things here. First, you're going to figure out these lengths, and then we're also going to think about, like, if this were a robot actually driving along this path, when it gets to the end of the first length, it's going to have to rotate this direction. So we're going to actually figure out what those angles are. So most of the work, if you're watching this video, is going to be done by the spreadsheet, but I'm going to just kind of show you how to get started. So once you get your handout that looks like this, you want to take the first length and look at the two ordered pairs that make up the endpoints. So in this case, I'm using 0, 0 and 10, 3. So in your spreadsheet, you're going to type those in as 0, 0 and 10, 10, 3. So whatever your numbers are, you'll put those in right there. Okay. The exterior turn, if you go back to your picture here, the exterior turn is what you get when you measure this exterior angle. So with your straight edge, you just want to carefully take and extend this first segment so that you have kind of like a ground line to measure from. And then we're going to actually measure this angle right here. So you'll take your protractor, line that up at the vertex, and this is, looks like I gotta rotate that. There we go. This one is, looks like just short of 140. I'm gonna say 139 degrees. All right, so I'll go back to my spreadsheet, and we're just gonna type in 130 degrees here. Don't use any degree symbols or write DEG. It'll just screw up the calculation later. So actually, no units are better on this. Excel does not like units. Okay, so here's what we're going to look at. After you do a test on your robot, you're going to have a delay and a distance that your robot moves from that delay. So most students choose like a delay of 0.5, and they figure out what distance they need, or what distance the robot travels. So this number that I'm typing in, this will vary based upon your test. So let's just say a half of a second delay, move the robot 10 inches. All right, whatever you get, we'll type that here. And you're going to have the same test that you do for your angle. So let's say, again, this number will vary. Everybody's will be different. But let's just say a half second rotated the robot, oh, I don't know, let's say 30 degrees. Okay, we're going to use that to help us figure out what the robot actually needs to make it move the angles and distances you calculate. So let's do the distance formula first, because that's the easiest one. In the cell right behind length of the segment, what we're going to do is actually just type an equal sign. And after the equal sign, we're going to give it the distance formula. But instead of putting it in words and symbols, we're going to use the cells that the numbers are located in and just click in them. So since we're going to square root for the distance formula, they don't have the square root symbol as an option, but if you type in SQRT and then start a parentheses, it will actually square root everything inside the parentheses. And I'm typing basically this formula right here. So I'm going to do a second parentheses to start the subtraction for x2 and x1. So I'm going to go up to my ordered pairs, and I'm just going to click on the number that represents the second x. And instead of showing up as a 10, it shows up as the cell that it was located in. So then we'll go minus, and then you click on the next x, or the first x, and then you close your parenthesis. And in order to square that, you're going to use the caret symbol, which is located, the exponent symbol is right above the 6 on your keypad. And then you'll type in a 2. And that basically corresponds to subtracting the x's and squaring it. All right, go ahead and do a plus sign. And we're going to do the same thing with the y's. So start a new parenthesis. And then I'm going to click on the second y value, which is 3 in my case. And then I'm going to hit minus the other y value. Close the parenthesis. Exponent symbol, which is the above the 6. Square it. And then close the parentheses at the very end to tell it that we're going to square root that number. All right, now if you press enter, it actually does the distance formula for you. So it takes those numbers. What's kind of cool is like you can change these. I can type in new numbers. Whatever I type in, it updates the distance for me. Okay, so there's your first distance. So I'm going to have over here for the desired length, this is the answer I want to use. I don't want you to type the number. I want you to do an equal sign. And I want you to click on that answer that we just calculated. That way, as soon as that number changes, it will also change over here in your spreadsheet. So it's kind of like a live link that automatically updates. All right, your calculated delay is what we're going to figure out right now. Okay, so the way you're going to do that is anytime we're doing a calculation, we're going to press the equal sign. And then if you look over here, I gave you kind of the formula. So the distance, the delay formula for distance says take your testing delay and multiply it by the length that you want. So all we're going to do is click on those cells. So this cell right here contains the testing delay. I'm going to hit the asterisk key, which means multiply, and testing delay times the length. So I'm going to take that times this cell. Again, don't type the numbers, just click on the cell. And then we're going to divide that by the spot where the testing distance is located. So divided by testing distance, which if you look up here, here's your test data, there's your distance. So we're going to click on that. All right, so it looks like a delay of a little more than half of a second will move the robot a little over 10 inches, which makes sense because on your test, you said half of a second will move it 10 inches. So it makes sense that these are both kind of increasing approximately at the same rate. All right, one other calculation, and then we'll copy and paste, and then all your math is done for the project. So I'm going to take this desired rotation, and that comes from what we measured. So let's look back up here. We said that was 130 degrees. So I'm going to just, again, I'm going to do an equal sign and just click right on that number. And that way it automatically updates in case I need to redo a calculation. Okay, to get this delay, if you look over to the left, the formula says to take the testing delay times the angle and then divide it by the test angle. So we'll go ahead and type that in. So equal sign. The testing delay was right here for my angles. And we're going to multiply that by the desired angle rotation, which was the desired rotation was right here, 130. You're going to have a different angle. And then you'll divide that by the rotation up above. So click on that cell. And again, there it is. So let's see if that makes sense. On our test, it took half of a second to rotate 30 degrees. So this is going to take a little more than 2 seconds to rotate 130 degrees. These are the numbers right here that we're going to use in the program we write. Okay, Instead of redoing all your formulas, what you can do is I would just select everything. I would copy it. And I would go to one of these other tabs and just click on the first cell and paste. And then all you have to do is change the information. So you can change your ordered pairs. You can measure the second angle. And then you'll record that right here in your return. And that's pretty much it. Once you get those 3 numbers in there, nothing else needs to be changed because it will live update. So, like, just to show you, mine would be 10 and 3 and 3 and 8. So I'm going to type those in. So 10, 3, and then 3 and 8. And look at that. It does all of my calculations for me. Okay, same thing with the angle. If I change this angle, I have no idea what this is. I'm going to guess, say 110. But whatever you measure, if I put 110, boom, all my calculations are done. So once you get one done, you just copy and paste into each of these categories, and it does all the work for you. Hope that helps. Thanks for watching.